Listen, look at me for a moment, take a breath, because I know what it feels like to lose yourself over the smallest things. A comment that shouldn't matter, a look that meant nothing, a moment that should have been forgotten in 5 seconds, but held your entire day hostage. And you walk around carrying that fire in your chest, pretending you're okay, pretending it didn't bother you, while inside it's eating at your peace like rust on metal. But hear me now, your peace is too precious to be sacrificed on the altar of someone else's nonsense. Your destiny is too sacred to be shaken by something that won't even matter next week. And your life, your beautiful, complicated, priceless life, is far too short to be spent lighting yourself on fire just to prove you feel something. Sometimes the real strength isn't in raising your voice, it's in keeping your power, it's in saying, I won't break myself over something that doesn't build me. If you're tired of being angry at small things, if you're tired of giving your emotions away for free, then today, right now, we start changing that narrative. Have you ever noticed how a simple remark, a careless gesture, or a minor inconvenience can ignite a fire within you? That's anger sneaking in disguised as a justifiable reaction. But here's the truth. Those small things only have the power you give them. Anger is never about the outside. It's always a mirror of the inside. When you find yourself snapping at a friend, getting irritated at a traffic jam, or losing patience over a spilled cup of coffee, it's not the event itself that's driving you. It's the patterns, beliefs, and past experiences that you carry like invisible weight. To stop being angry at stupid things, you have to first look inward. You must study yourself with honesty and courage, noticing what triggers your frustration. Only when you see the invisible roots will you begin to understand why your peace gets hijacked over matters that in reality are meaningless. Anger thrives in the shadows of unhealed wounds and unmet expectations. That tiny spark that sets you off may be someone cutting you off in traffic, a sarcastic comment, or a delay at work is often magnified by your own unresolved frustration. Sometimes it's not the person or the event at all. It's the stress you've been carrying, the insecurities you haven't acknowledged, the fears you haven't named. That is why the first step in mastering anger is deep self-awareness. Sit with your feelings, watch how your body reacts. Notice the tension in your jaw, the quickening of your heartbeat, the clenching of your fists. These are the signals telling you that your mind has been hijacked by a reaction you don't yet understand. Pay attention to them, study them, and you will start to see the patterns that make small things feel enormous. When we are triggered, it is often because we have allowed minor irritations to connect to something larger in our minds. A spilled cup isn't really about the coffee, it's about control. A careless word isn't really about the sentence, it's about respect or the lack thereof. Somewhere deep within, we carry expectations of how life should be, how people should behave, and how we should be treated. When reality doesn't align with that vision, anger erupts. Recognizing this is crucial. The fire that burns in response to trivial events is fueled by the stories we tell ourselves. Once you understand the source, you realize the external world is not the enemy. Your internal beliefs and unexamined patterns are. The moment you see this, you gain the power to respond differently. You can choose calm. You can choose clarity. Patterns of anger often repeat because we fail to examine them. Certain people, situations, or environments consistently provoke irritation. That repetition is not coincidence. It's a signal that these triggers tap into unresolved issues. Maybe it's a sibling who pushes your buttons, a colleague who undermines you, or traffic during rush hour. Each repeated frustration is an opportunity to learn something about yourself. Ask yourself, Why does this matter so much? Why does this spark feel so explosive? What is underneath this irritation? When you begin asking these questions, you shift from being a victim of your reactions to being an observer, a student of your own mind. That shift is where real change begins. Understanding the source is not a one-time insight. It is lifelong practice. Your childhood, past relationships, and early experiences often shape how you respond to small provocation. Perhaps you weren't heard as a child, and now impatience rises when people don't listen. Perhaps criticism was harsh, and now any minor judgment triggers defensiveness or rage. Understanding these origins is not about blaming the past, it's about illuminating the roots so you can free yourself from them. Every time anger surfaces over a minor thing, it is an invitation to ask, is this moment about now, or is it a replay of something long ago? Once you can separate present reality from past conditioning, anger loses its grip and peace becomes a choice. One of the most powerful tools in understanding anger is reflection. Journaling, meditating, or simply observing your reactions reveals patterns you never noticed. Write down each moment where small irritations triggered you. Look for recurring themes, people, places, situations, times of day. These patterns are clues to your mind's wiring. Understanding them allows you to prepare, respond consciously, and dismantle the patterns entirely. With this awareness, the small things lose their power. Another key aspect is ego. Often anger arises when we feel slighted, disrespected, or challenged. Our mind interprets minor inconveniences as attacks on our identity. But the truth is, most of the outside world isn't trying to harm us. It's our ego that inflates the importance of trivial events. Recognizing this influence is liberating. It allows you to pause and ask, is this truly about me? With awareness, anger becomes less personal and less consuming. Patterns of anger also thrive on expectation. We expect life to meet our standards, and when it doesn't, traffic, slow cashiers, delays, we react as if wronged. These are not attacks. They are life moving at its own pace. Understanding this shifts everything. Each unmet expectation is a chance to practice acceptance and patience. Anger transforms from burden to teacher, but understanding the source also requires compassion for yourself. Anger does not make you weak, it makes you human. What makes you strong is your willingness to look inward and grow beyond your triggers. Your anger is not your enemy, it is a messenger. By listening without judgment, you begin to dismantle anger's grip and respond peacefully to moments that once ignited fury. This work is lifelong, but every step reclaims your freedom. You begin to see life's annoyances as small, unworthy of stealing your peace. The more you understand the source, the less control anger has over you. Once you truly understand the source, something miraculous happens. You are no longer a passenger in your life. You become the driver. Small things that once lit a fire now pass like harmless clouds. Peace becomes a state of mind. This mastery begins with understanding, honesty, and courage. And when you do this, you are free. Free from unnecessary anger. Free from wasted energy. Free to live fully. In the heat of the moment, our minds scream for immediate reaction. But the first reaction is rarely the best one. When you pause, even for a heartbeat, you reclaim control. Pausing is not weakness, it is strength. Every deep breath creates space between impulse and action, reaction and response. That space is where your power lies. The world will keep pushing, but when you master the pause, the small annoyances no longer dictate your inner state. Breathing is a profound tool for this. When anger rises, the body reacts first, heart racing, muscles tightening, A single conscious breath can shift everything. Inhale deeply, hold, exhale fully. With every breath, your mind calms and your focus sharpens. The pause becomes the bridge between reaction and reflection. Pausing is also about stepping back and observing yourself. Imagine standing a few feet away from your own storm, watching thoughts and irritation without becoming them. This detachment creates perspective. You realize the insult or inconvenience is not worth the fire. Reflection in the pause reveals that moments are fleeting, annoyance is temporary, and you have a choice. Pausing transforms reactivity into conscious action. Choosing a measured response is the essence of mastery. Immediate angry reactions wound, escalate, and leave regret, but a measured response creates clarity, respect, and strength. Pause teaches humility. It reminds you that life is not personal. Miscommunications happen, mistakes happen, people have bad days. The pause is perspective. It shows you your dignity is worth more than a flare of irritation. Reflection is a practice. You must train it daily. Start with small delays and frustrations. Notice the urge to react. Observe without judgment. Over time, this rewires your mind toward calm. Pausing deepens emotional intelligence. It lets you ask, why am I reacting? What does this trigger within me? What outcome do I want? These questions turn instinct into insight. Reflection forces the mind to consider consequences and align with values. The small things shrink when viewed through clarity. Relationships improve, communication strengthens, and respect grows when you practice this. You become the calm in the storm. The pause is freedom. Freedom from reaction, conflict, and minor frustrations. Life will continue to test you, but when you pause and reflect, the fire no longer consumes you. You choose your response. In that choice, you discover mastery. Life constantly challenges you with irritations, but here is the secret. It's not what happens that determines your emotional state. It's how you interpret it. Reframing is the art of seeing irritation differently. When someone cuts you off, ask, is this worth my energy? Reframing turns triggers into teachers. It requires shifting perspective because anger comes from rigidity, believing life should unfold your way. But life is not obligated to follow your script. When you release that, anger dissolves. Humor is a powerful reframing tool, and you laugh at the absurdity of letting something so small steal your peace. Humor diffuses anger instantly. Another tool is seeking the lesson. Every irritation carries insight. Maybe a boundary is needed or a belief examined. Anger is a guidepost, not just a problem. Letting go is the other half. Many times anger arises from attachment, to being right, to control, to expectations. Releasing attachment frees you. Letting go is not surrender, it is liberation. Reframing strengthens relationships, improves understanding, and allows compassion to take root. It transforms you into a stabilizing presence. Reframing requires vigilance and daily practice. Notice frustration, label it, ask how else you can view it. Over time, this becomes automatic. It becomes moral practice too, considering context, intention, and impermanence. Reframing turns irritation into wisdom. Paired with release, it builds resilience. Life won't stop testing you, but you won't be shaken. Mastering reframing is mastering life. Small things lose their power. Peace becomes the priority. You choose calm. You choose life. As we come to the close of this journey, remember that life's small irritations are not enemies. They are mirrors. Every moment of frustration is a message pointing inward. The first step is understanding the source. Look honestly at your triggers, fears, and unmet needs. This is not blame but awakening. Awareness is the foundation of mastery. From awareness grows the strength to face the world without being consumed by the trivial. Then practice the power of pause, breathe, step back, watch the fire without letting it control you. Pause gives you control, dignity, and clarity. Finally, learn to reframe and release. See the humor, the lesson, the perspective. Release the need to control or be right. Letting go frees your mind and protects your peace. Anger is not a prison, it is a teacher. The small annoyances of life do not have to steal your joy or dictate your mood. Your reactions are yours to choose. Your peace is yours to protect. Step forward with awareness, pause with courage, and release with wisdom. Every day is an opportunity to master yourself, rise above trivial frustrations, and live fully, deeply, and powerfully. Thank you, God bless you, and may your path be filled with calm, clarity, and unwavering strength.